Tracing Tragedy, the Life and Art of Käthe Kollwitz. Let's talk a bit of Expressionism art. What is Expressionism? Expressionism is an art movement that originated in Northern Europe in the early 20th century. Expressionism art conveys the artist's inner feelings, emotions, and spiritual themes. They use intense colors, distorted forms, and free brushwork to create a visual language that expresses their inner thoughts and emotions. Käthe Kollwitz was one of the artists that are in era of Expressionism. Kollwitz was the last great practitioner of German Expressionism and is often considered to be the foremost artist of social protest in the 20th century. Despite the realism of her early works, her art is now more closely associated with Expressionism. The Life and Art of Käthe Kollwitz. Käthe Kollwitz was born on July 8, 1867 in Königsberg, East Prussia. On the 22nd of April 1945, Käthe Kollwitz died at the age of 77 in Moritzburg near Dresden in Germany. In the Ruddenhof, a manor house on the castle pond of Moritzburg, she found refuge from the war and spent the last months before her death there. She was also a mother of two children, Hans Kollwitz (1899–1971) and Peter Kollwitz (1896–1914). Their lives and her experiences as a mother had deeply influenced her artistic work. Despite her death, Käthe Kollwitz was a renowned German artist that celebrated for her emotionally powerful and socially conscious works that explored suffering, loss, and the struggles of the working class. She is best known for her contributions in printmaking, drawing, and sculpture, often addressing themes such as war, poverty, motherhood, and social justice. Käthe Kollwitz's artwork evokes a sense of grief, sadness, and pain through its somber colors, expressive figures, and emotive composition. As an artist and a mother, Kollwitz was instrumental in establishing new ways in which modern women could portray themselves in art outside of traditional guises. Kollwitz created several self-portraits and portrayed women working, mourning, and leading revolutions. Here are some interesting facts about Käthe Kollwitz. Käthe Kollwitz began her formal artistic training at the age of 14. Between World War I and World War II, she had mastered in etching, lithographs, and woodcuts. In 1919, Kollwitz became the first woman to be elected to the Prussian Academy of Arts, granting her the title of professor. Despite her being famous, the Nazi regime labeled her art as degenerate because her art did not align with their ideals of Aryan purity, heroism, and nationalism. In 1933, after Adolf Hitler came to power, Käthe Kollwitz was forced to resign from her position under Nazi orders, effectively silencing her public influence. The Nazis also barred her from exhibiting her work in official galleries or events. Other than that, Käthe Kollwitz's revolt against war was personal and profoundly artistic. After losing her son Peter in World War I, it had deeply affected her and led to a lifelong commitment to pacifism. She had created The War, 1922–1923, and The Grieving Parents, 1932, to portray the grief, suffering, and loss experienced by mothers, children, and soldiers. Even with that, Käthe Kollwitz had lived through both world wars, which significantly influenced her art and worldview. Without seeing the end of war, she passed away just days before the end of World War II, amidst the destruction of Germany. During Käthe Kollwitz's life, she watched the country in which she lived has fallen into conflict, and as a result of that conflict, ruination. She and the other mother she knew has experienced financial deprivation and the loss of friend and family. She channeled her feelings of heartache into poignant works of art that are warmly remembered to this day. Because she used her voice as an artist to express her own experiences, we are now able to understand the emotions with which many people who lived in the aftermath of World War I struggled. This is one of the most important functions art can perform. It helps us to understand what life is like for people who lived before. That's all for Tracing Tragedy, the Life and Art of Käthe Kollwitz. These are some of her famous works.